All right, everybody, we're back. We were kissing during the break. Last year, folks, my next guest was buried in a plexiglass coffin for a week. Next Monday, he's planning to be frozen in a block of ice for 3 days and released live on television Wednesday night. Please welcome David Blaine. So, explain to everybody exactly what it is you're going to be doing on Monday.
So Monday morning, I'm going to be encased in about 6 tons of ice. It's a glacier that we had trucked down from Alaska. And
won't it be melted by the time they get it here? Or, I mean, how do they get the glacier here?
Roosevelt used to serve ice cream every summer because every winter he would store big blocks of ice in his barn, and it doesn't melt for a long time.
So you can keep ice. Okay, so the ice is going to get here, and how are you going to get into the center of the ice? They drop you, do they dig a hole?
No, what they did is there's 2 big blocks, and they cut a carving of me. They took a molding of my body, and they cut the molding out of one of the blocks of ice. They stick me in there. Then they seal the 2 blocks together, and there's no way to reopen it except with chainsaws and picks. So it's by far the toughest thing I've ever attempted in my life.
Now, and then you're going to be, I think the most dangerous part, of this whole thing is that then you're going to be left in Times Square. To me, I mean, they're going to actually they're putting this block.
You won't be there when they come to get you.
Yeah. They're putting this block of ice in Times Square, where hobos will pee on you. What's going to happen? Is there security standing around you, or are you just in a block of ice right
There's
there?
full-time security,
Okay.
but anybody can come by at any time and check out the ice and look at it and touch it, and it's accessible to everybody.
Is it very clear ice so that people can see it's really you in there?
That's why we had it shipped from Alaska, because it freezes at colder temperatures, so it's really clear. It's as clear as day. You can see right through it.
Now, first of all, doesn't this lower your body temperature? How much does it lower it? How do you not die when you do this?
Right now I have a sore throat because I did a 14-hour test up in Nyack. We have this ice house, and my body temperature went to 92, and they had to pull me. So it's a real problem, but...
yeah, you might want to look into that part. Wait, you only did this for relatively, compared to what you're going to do, you did it for a short amount of time.
1/4 the amount of the time.
1/4 the amount of time, and they had to pull you out of there because you started
92.
to die.
Well, I was shivering for hours and hours and hours. Even in a hot tub for like 6 hours, I still was shaking violently.
Right.
And I've broken it. It's a tough thing.
And now you're also, you're doing this shirtless. Is that right? You're not wearing a shirt? Because I would at least say, look, I'm going to do this, but I want a Gore-Tex parka. Or something.
If I had the choice, I would do it naked, but it's a network TV thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So...
Well, you get a bigger crowd probably in Times Square.
I don't mean fully naked. I just mean it's more honest to do it with nothing, I think.
So you're going to be... Let me ask some, embarrassing questions.
How do you go to the bathroom?
Exactly, thank you. I was going to say it in a more delicate way, but Al has his own methods.
I started my fast today, actually, so I won't have to do a number 2, and I'll have a catheter to do a number 1.
This sounds great.
Yeah. You'll have a catheter, okay. Now, what happens if something... Let's say you fall asleep while you're in there. There's a danger that if you actually lean up against the ice,
real
you could
danger.
get, burned and actually attached to the ice. Is that right?
That's worse than that is that if you fall asleep and my face presses in, my skin will freeze, and they'll have to cut it off because the skin dies.
Right.
But what we have is a alternate. See, I'm a heavy sleeper, but I'll probably stay awake the whole time. But if I do fall asleep, they can pull on the catheter.
Well, that would get your attention, yeah. Why not just attach the catheter to a truck? He's falling asleep. First of all, pick the guy who's pulling the catheter very carefully. You don't want some guy like, come on, wake up. Who's pulling the catheter?
Hopefully my girlfriend. So the other alternative, because the ABC producers are worried that what if he doesn't wake up with the catheter? So they would have to cut a hole in the ice with a drill straight through towards my head and then poke a stick at my face.
Well, you've got all the latest technology on your side. The old, what do we do now? Put a stick in there. Poke him.
If that doesn't work, they'll have to end the whole thing and they'll just cut me out.
They'll just cut you out. Is there any way that you can give a signal that means, get me out of this block of ice? Get me out. Is there a signal you have?
Mm-hmm.
Is that where you just start screaming? What do you do? I mean,
it's pretty soundproof, so they wouldn't really be able to hear me that well.
Right.
Except, actually, they're going to have to, because I'm drinking water in there, so they put a tube in and I suck the, so they can cut a hole in the ice on the side where that tube is and they can scream through that and I can respond to them.
Do you have a really good team of people with you?
Yeah. They're really good. They buried me alive.
Cooter and Jones hacking away. We'll get them out. You want good people with really good equipment.
The other real danger to this is that if it's warm when I'm in there, the consistency of the ice may change, and when they're cutting me out, heavy blocks of ice, if they slide the wrong way, if a piece starts moving towards my head, there's nothing that can stop it, and it would go through it like nothing.
Cool. Well, Al brought up a really good question earlier, which is why not just go back to pick a card, any cards? I mean, this is really extreme stuff. Buried alive, now encased in a block of ice. The whole catheter thing. I mean, I'd get out at that point.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. The next one's going to be even tougher because you have to keep.
We're going to listen to the old Kathy Lee CD.
I'd take the catheter, yeah. Now, it's just shooting fish in a barrel here, Al. What's the next stunt you have planned? Let's hope, you're going to get through this thing fine, but what's the next stunt after this one?
Next one is I want to do this thing called the bridge drop, where I fall off the Brooklyn Bridge into the East River. And when you hit the water at that height, it's like hitting pavement almost. It's a deadly fall.
The word for that is suicide. There's a word. It's not like this is a cool stunt I'm going to try. How do you survive that? That's not survivable.
Well, if something breaks the water surface tension first, like if a shoe was to fall in before you, it's suddenly much safer. You can fall without any consequences.
So you're going to hope a shoe drops in before you? Or actually have a shoe drop in before you?
No, I'll start practicing at 80 feet and then get up to 90 feet, then 100, then 120, and keep going up.
Okay, if you say so.
You know what you might try is dropping in a block of ice.
Yeah. With a catheter attachment that isn't quite long enough.
Oh.
Man, I don't know how you do it. I worry for you. I hope you. I'm sure everything's going to be all right, but I just be careful. David Blaine's Frozen in Time airs Wednesday night at 10 o'clock on ABC, and best of luck to you. David. Thanks for coming by. I hope you feel better. David Blaine, everybody. Deftones coming up in a little bit. We'll be right back. Everybody, that is our show for the night. I do want to thank all my guests. Our thanks to Al Roker for popping by, raising the level of discourse for us all. Our thanks to David Blaine for being here. We certainly wish him well. Our thanks to Deftones for performing. Max Weinberg, the Max Weinberg 7. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned for later. Bye-bye.